Welcome back, my dear students. Today we begin an exciting journey into the world of Reptilia, the first true terrestrial vertebrates that once ruled the earth during the Mesozoic era. But how did reptiles arise in the first place? Let's rewind a bit. Towards the end of the Devonian period, vertebrates gave rise to amphibian-like creatures, and from these emerged two distinct paths. One led to our modern-day amphibians, and the other gave rise to a group that broke free from the need to breed in water. These land-adapted vertebrates are known as the amniotes, and from this ancient stock of amniotes, we eventually got not just reptiles but also birds and mammals. So, in today's class, we will explore the general characteristics of reptilia and their classification up to the living subclasses. So, stay tuned and let's explore the fascinating adaptations that made reptiles the rulers of the land long before mammals and even before birds took the skies. General characteristic features of reptilia. Reptilia are the first true land conquerors of vertebrate evolution. Creeping and burrowing vertebrates. Reptiles are primarily creeping or burrowing terrestrial vertebrates. They are ectothermic or cold-blooded, relying on external sources for body heat. The class includes around 6,000 living species globally. Dry, scaly skin. Their skin is dry, rough and glandless, covered with epidermal scales or scutes made of keratin that help prevent water loss, an important adaptation for terrestrial life. Ecdysis or skin shedding. In snakes and lizards, the outer layer of the skin is periodically shed as a complete skin cast. Efficient lung respiration. Respiration is exclusively pulmonary or through lungs. Well-developed ribs assist in expanding and contracting the body cavity, making their breathing mechanism more efficient than in amphibians. This is the image showing different kinds of reptiles: turtle, tortoises, chameleon, snake, gecko, lizard, crocodile, etc. The monocondylic skull. The skull articulates with the vertebral column by a single occipital condyle, unlike mammals which have two, so they are actually dicondylic. Limb structure. Except in snakes, reptiles possess two pairs of pentadactyl limbs, tetrapod pentadactyl type, each with 5 clawed digits adapted for crawling, climbing or swimming. Circulatory system. The heart has two auricles and one partially divided ventricle. However, in crocodiles, the heart is completely four-chambered, like in birds and mammals. Nucleated RBCs and a less developed renal portal system are typical features. Excretion and kidney type. Reptiles have metanephric kidneys and their excretion types vary. Ammonotelic found in crocodiles, ureotelic found in turtles and alligators, uricotelic found in snakes and lizards. Their urinary bladder may be present in some groups. Nervous system. Reptiles have 12 pairs of cranial nerves corresponding a well-developed sensory and motor control system. Their reproductive ducts and copulatory organs. In females, the Mullerian ducts function as oviduct. In males, the Wolffian ducts develop into vas deferens. Male reptiles possess copulatory organs for internal fertilization. Hearing adaptations. The ear comprises external, middle and internal parts, but snakes lack external and middle ears, relying on jawbone vibrations for hearing. No lateral line system. Unlike amphibians and fishes, reptiles lack a lateral line system, marking a complete adaptation to land. Feeding habits. Tortoises are primarily herbivorous. Some turtles are carnivorous. Most other reptiles like snakes and lizards are carnivorous or insectivorous. Presence of cloaca. A typical cloaca, common opening for digestive, excretory and reproductive tract, is present. Reproduction and egg adaptation. Mostly they are oviparous, laying macrolecital or polylecital eggs with a hard leathery shell. Some species show ovoviviparity or viviparity, and their development includes a formation of embryonic membranes like amnion, chorion, allantois and yolk sac, a key feature of amniotes. In 1895, herpetologists separated reptiles from amphibians and recognized them as a distinct class. Reptiles are mainly classified based on their skeletal features, especially the structure of the skull. One important feature used for classification is the temporal fossa, an opening or depression in the skull located behind the eye socket or orbit. Based on the number and position of these openings in the temporal region, reptiles are divided into four groups. Anapsida, the reptiles have no openings in the temporal region of the skull. Parapsida, the skull has a single upper opening where the postorbital or squamosal bones meet below the opening. Diapsida, there are two openings on each side of the skull separated by the postorbital and squamosal bones. Synapsida, a single opening is present on each side, but here the postorbital and squamosal bones meet above the opening. So this is the image showing different kinds of skull found in reptiles and on what basis they have been classified. That is the synapsid skull, parapsid skull, anapsid skull, eurapsid skull, diapsid skull, and this is a lizard type skull. Classification up to living orders. Here is the classification scheme proposed in the Life of Vertebrates book written by J.J. Young in 1981, and it is followed. Classification scheme of reptiles. Class Reptilia can be subdivided into different subclasses: Anapsida, Lepidosauria and Archosauria. These are the three living classes, and Synaptosauria, Ichthyopterygia and Synapsida, these are three extinct classes. So we will only discuss about the living classes. So the living class Anapsida can be divided into one living order, that is Chelonia, and Lepidosauria, the subclass, which can be divided into two orders, two living orders like Rhinocephalia and Squamata, and the another living subclass Archosauria can be categorized into one single living order, that is Crocodilia. And then Squamata further can be divided into three suborders: Lacertilia or Sauria, Ophidia and Amphisbaenia. Now let's start. Subclass Anapsida. General characteristics. The skull has a solid roof with no openings or temporal fossa behind the eyes. That's a key identifying trait. These subclass include one surviving order, that is Chelonia, the turtles and tortoises we commonly know today. This is the image showing the tortoises. Order Chelonia. Chelon means tortoise. Their distinctive features: their body is dorsoventrally flattened and typically oval or round in shape. They wear a natural armor. The top side is protected by a hard dome-like carapace and the underside is shielded by a flat plastron. The neck, limbs and tail can be retracted into the shell for safety. The tail is short. Limbs are weak and five-fingered, that is pentadactyl. In marine turtles, the limbs are shaped like paddles for swimming. No teeth in adults. Instead, they have horny, beak-like jaws for cutting food. This is the image showing that different types of turtles: desert box turtle, hawksbill sea turtle, leatherback sea turtle, wood turtle, green sea turtle, pig-nosed turtle, common snapping turtle, spotted turtle, eastern mud turtle, Rio Grande cooter turtle, alligator snapping turtle, bog turtle, flatback sea turtle, Mississippi map turtle, painted wood turtle, Blandings turtle, northern map turtle, pond slider, olive ridley sea turtle and loggerhead turtle. These are the various kinds of turtles found in our world. Their cloacal opening is longitudinal and males have a copulatory organ attached to the cloacal wall, and they reproduce by laying eggs or oviparous. In temperate climates, they go into hibernation during colder months. Their skull is monostylic, meaning the quadrate bone is firmly fixed, it doesn't move. The thoracic vertebrae and ribs are fused with the carapace, making their body super solid. The pectoral girdle is made up of scapula, coracoid and long procoracoid bone. Their pelvic girdles consist of ilium, ischium and pubis. Common examples are testudo or land tortoise, emis, trinix and Indian soft-shell turtle, chilon, green sea turtle, dermochelis, leatherback turtle, chelis and ultimately Lepidochelis olivacea, olive ridley turtle. Now the second subclass, Lepidosauria. Lepis means scale and squaros means lizard. Lepidosauria includes lizard-like reptiles known for their scaled skin and diapsid skull, two openings in the temporal region of the skull. This group is represented today by two main living orders and one extinct. The extinct one is the Eusuchia and the living two orders are the Rhynchocephalia and Squamata. Rhynchocephalia presents primitive reptiles like tuatara and Squamata includes lizards and snakes. Orders Rhynchocephalia, Rhynchos means snout or beak and cephala means head. So this group include the ancient reptiles Sphenodon, which is often called as living fossil. The common name of Sphenodon is tuatara. The image showing the tuatara, it's a living fossil because of its close resemblance to extinct reptiles of the Mesozoic era. General features: body coloration dull olive green on top, whitish underneath. The dorsal skin has tiny glandular scales. Their ventral side has larger square-shaped plates arranged in rows. Tail is laterally compressed with a crest and can regenerate when lost. A spiny crest runs from the head to the tail tip. Their unique crown. The large eyes with a vertical slit pupil like cats. They have transverse cloacal sheath. Males lack a copulatory organ. The skull is rigid with immovable quadrate bones. Vertebra are amphicoelous, that is concave on both ends, retaining a persistent notochord. A small additional vertebra called proatlas is present. Most vertebrae have chevron bones, V-shaped bones under the tail. Abdominal ribs are present, made up of bone and single-headed. Teeth are acrodont, that is attached to the top of the jaw. Skull, small and triangular teeth. They are found on the maxilla, palatine and mandible. The young ones have homerine teeth which later become spats in adults. The brain is simple but they possess unique third eye. It's a well developed parietal organ. Their eggs take over a year to hatch, one of the longest incubation period in reptiles. Examples: Sphenodon punctatus, Sphenodon guntheri, found only in New Zealand. Order Squamata, Latin Squamatus means scaly. This is the largest order of reptiles including all lizards and snakes, and they are found all over the world. General features: the skull has a superior temporal fossa, an opening above the side of the skull. The maxilla, palatine and pterygoid bones are fixed, but the quadrate bone is movable, allowing wide jaw opening, especially found in snakes. Their lower jaw is made up of multiple bones. Their teeth can be either acrodont or pleurodont, found on maxilla, premaxilla and palatines. Their vertebrae are procellus, that is concave in front, and chevron bones are present. Their ribs are single-headed. They have transverse cloacal sheath. Males have a pair of hemipenis, which is reversible copulatory sacs. They possess a highly developed Jacobson's organ for detecting smell. They are very helpful in prey detection and mating. This order is cosmopolitan, that they live everywhere from deserts and forests to human homes. These are the tables showing the examples and common names of the lizards, and another table showing the examples of common names and scientific names of snakes. The image showing different types of lizards like chameleon, the frilled neck lizard, green iguana, guana, Nile monitor, fire skink, western alligator lizard, brown basilisk, Texas horned lizard, common house gecko, armadillo gridded lizard, bearded dragon, Komodo dragon, slow worm, leopard gecko, Argentine black and white tegu, common wall lizard, etc. And these are the image showing different various kinds of snakes found in our country India. This common krait, Russell's viper, spectacled cobra, saw-scaled viper, rat snake, common sand boa, common wolf snake, red sand boa, banded reindeer, common trinket snake, common cat snake, common green vine snake, bronzeback tree snake, common kuti, buff-striped keelback, checkered keelback, green keelback, Indian python, etc., Indian rock python, etc. So now we'll go to the last group, that is subclass Archosauria, means the ruling reptiles. This group includes extinct dinosaurs and modern day crocodilians. Their general features include diapsid skull, two temporal opening but lacks interparietal and parietal foramina. There's some species are toothless while others lack palatal teeth only. The lower jaw shows opening or vacuities between the dentary and angular bones. In advanced members, bipedal locomotion evolved and their girdles, shoulder and pelvic adapted accordingly a dinosaur link. These subclass bridges ancient reptiles like dinosaurs and modern day crocodiles. Order Crocodilia or Loricata. Latin's crocodilus means crocodile and Loricatas are armed in nails. This order includes modern crocodiles, alligators and gharials, often called as living dinosaurs due to their ancient lineage. Giant features, habitat and movement. They live in fresh water like rivers and lakes. They are carnivores and swim using their strong laterally flattened tails. On land, they crawl using short but strong limbs. They are pentadactyl. They have 5-fingered limbs. Their webbed front limbs help in swimming. The thick armor-like skin made up of epidermal scales supported by bony plates like scutes. Reproduction and excretion, their longitudinal cloacal opening. Males have a single median copulatory organ. Their females have a clitoris, a rare feature in reptiles. Teeth and skull. They have thecodont teeth set in sockets found on premaxilla, maxilla and dentaries. Teeth have persistent pulp so they can regrow. Nostrils at the tip of the snout. Internal nair located at the back of the mouth. This is the image showing types of crocodiles like New Guinea crocodile, Philippine crocodile, West African crocodile, Siamese crocodile, Nile crocodile, dwarf crocodile, Orinoco crocodile, freshwater crocodile, American crocodile, seawater crocodile, Cuban crocodile, Morlet's crocodile, Central African slender snouted crocodile, Mugger crocodile, Western African slender snouted crocodile, etc. And there are 3 types of crocodiles found in India are the gharials, saltwater crocodile and mugger crocodile or freshwater crocodile. Advanced internal features of crocodile: its primitive diaphragm separates chest and abdomen. Their heart is foot chambered just like birds and mammals. The eyes have a special structure called the pecten. It helps nourish the eye. Skull bones are tightly fused. Large alisphenoid bone and strong interorbital septum. Quadrate bone is large and fixed, which is immovable. Skeleton vertebrae are amphicoelous or procoelous, concave in front or both ends. Tail vertebra have chevron bones. Vertebral column have 5 regions: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral and caudal. Ribs, both sternal and abdominal ribs present. Sternal ribs have uncinate processes. Most ribs are double headed. Their girdles: pectoral girdles, the dorsal scapula, ventral perforated coracoid and a thin epicoracoid. The pelvic girdle consists of large ilium, smaller pubis and ischium and an epipubis. The pelvic bones meet at an ischiopubic symphysis. So this is the table showing examples of crocodiles. What we have learned today, that is, reptiles are basically cold-blooded terrestrial vertebrates with dry scaly skin. They breathe through lungs and lay amniotic eggs with leathery cells. The skull structure, especially temporal fossa, forms the basis of classification. They are divided into major subclasses like Anapsida, Lepidosauria and Archosauria, which includes turtle, lizards, snakes, crocodiles and more. If this step-by-step learning helped boost your understanding, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such interesting, simple, student-friendly lessons from my YouTube channel Biology at Priyojit. Keep revising, keep practicing and always stay curious. See you in the next class. Take a deep breath and keep learning. Thank you.